Oh, shit. Hold on.
What's up, everybody? We are live right as Danny takes a phone call. I love it. Hey, I hope everybody's having a great day. Welcome to the Shred Show live with me, Josh Pitts, and I'm very excited to have one of my very good friends and honestly probably one of the top account executives in the entire country, Danny Marogy, AVP with UWM over the entire West Coast. Danny, you and I have been friends for a long time. I'm excited to have you. Every time you and I get together, whether it's in your guys' facility, whether we're meeting on the road, you and I see each other all the time. Dude, you are a busy man, but you are one of those guys in the industry that you have a vision for the future, helping originators, helping brokers grow their business. And I cannot tell you how grateful and excited I am to have you here with me this morning, brother.
Hey, same here. I mean, Josh, honestly, we've met each other quite a few times, at some trade shows, at, some of the venues, all that good stuff we have. And the one thing you and I pick off each other a lot is the passion, the energy for this industry. I mean, helping brokers grow, showing consumers, clients, brokers, this industry is changing. I mean, it's ever evolving and it's leaning in its path towards the brokers. So I can't wait to dominate together into 2020 and beyond.
Dude, I 100% agree. So let's totally build off that because things are changing big time, especially for brokers, especially for the entire channel. So things are changing. So let's talk about that. What are you guys doing? What specifically at UWM? What are you guys really doing to make sure originators stay ahead of that change? Because you and I were talking about it before we got on here. FinTech is something that's being thrown around a lot. The originator is being threatened as a whole. So sometimes people get a little bit nervous. Even UWM, you guys have grown incredibly. You guys are going for 100 billion this year. I've heard goals of 150 billion next year. But what are you guys really doing to protect and to really help that originator so they don't get replaced?
Dude, that's a great question. And to be honest with you, I want to go back in time. So you remember 2004, 2005, 2006, wholesale's always been around. Companies like Countrywide and, other companies that were here in the past. Think of this for 1 second. So going into 2005, 2006, all the way up until the crash, brokers had the resources to send deals to, but the thing they did not have was a backbone. Think of when United Wholesale Mortgage joined the industry. See, one thing that makes me very passionate about this tremendously is back then, a lot of the wholesale lenders out there, were mainly focused on retail. That was their biggest, largest drive of business was, yes, we have our huge retail platform. And then of course we're going to have our wholesale to take business from our brokers, but there was no support. It was literally, you send your deal up here, we close it for you and it's done. See, now times have changed. You introduced Matt Ishbia to this game, our president and CEO. You see what he's done for the broker business. You notice the one thing he focuses on is broker growth. He doesn't care how many loans we do as a company. Yes, the numbers are there, 106 billion this year. We're going to potentially do, I say 200 billion. Matt's goal, our goal as a company is over 150 billion, but that's only contributing to broker growth. We know in this industry, being 100% broker driven, that the only way we're going to succeed is if our brokers succeed. So focusing on things like Brand 360. I know you saw that launch, about a month and a half, 2 months ago. It is dominating. I mean, people are coming to me saying, hey, dude, we have leads coming in just by setting this up. Literally setting up the platform to have marketing go out every single day on their behalf. Clients are reaching out, wanting to refinance. I mean, the path, there's a tide going on. And that's one thing that upset me from the past was, a lot of these, we call them wholesale lenders, as AIM would speak of. Yes, they take their deals. And then 6 months later, that rates drop. And then that client ends up getting refinanced by, that retail lender. And that broker ends up missing out on the opportunity to do that loan. That's changed. Matt stopped that. And the best thing about United Wholesale Mortgage is, like I said earlier, we're 100% broker driven. So having the backbone like we offer is what's going to help the brokers go into the future and like we say, dominate.
And I totally agree with that. And there are so many little facets. Everybody has heard me talk about UWM. And we could literally talk about everything that you guys are doing for hours and hours and hours because it's just so different right now. You guys are doing things differently. And that's what I think gets me more excited than anything. I've been to your guys' incredible facility. Plus, I don't even call it a facility. It's like a campus. It's somewhere where you go where the culture is unmatched. It's so crazy. And I want to talk about that because I think culture at UWM is a big part of why you guys continue to grow, why you continue to dominate. And I know you guys just bought another building right across the street. You've already outgrown this huge facility, and Matt and you and the entire team is looking forward to expansion in the future. But culture, when it comes down to it, I've been to your guys' Wednesday trainings. You guys get everybody together. You get everybody pumped up and excited. But it's not just get everybody pumped up. It's more so everybody can be on the same page to go help brokers.
Exactly. And, like you said, you've been to our facility. You've seen our Wednesday morning meetings. Matt's always fired up. All of our senior leadership's fired up. Our passion for the broker market is very simple. How can we help our brokers grow? What can we come out with tomorrow or next month? I mean, products are great. Everybody has products. Everyone sells similar products, but what can we do technology wise? What can we do to, enhance brand 360? And at the same time, utilizing Success Track, getting our brokers out here to see our facility, to see our training, to see our culture, our 4,900 strong team members, seeing what we do every single day, and then taking that culture back home with them to grow their business.
Yep. And I think I've been there. You mentioned Success Track. That to me is one of those things when somebody hears about it, they're like, oh, well, I don't need to go spend 2 or 3 days going. They're like, what benefit is that going to be to me? But being there and as it continues to evolve, Success Track, like It's amazing to go to meet other originators, to see that all UWM has to offer, but being able to collaborate. That's what I really appreciate about Success Track is I get to go hear from other brokers, broker owners that are in the exact same spot I am in the same trenches, going through the same difficulties day in and day out. And Success Track really allows us to share those ideas, to hear from others, and to really be able to build off one another, which to me, that's what's so cool about Success Track.
And collaboration is key, like you mentioned. You go there, you meet a broker from California, or let's say you meet a broker from New York. At the end of the day, we're not competing with each other. The broker market is 17, 18%. It's going to finish up this year. Next year, goal of 25%. We're here to collaborate with each other. We're here to get better as individuals. And keep in mind, broker in New Jersey could be doing something that you've never thought of, or you could be doing something that the broker in New Jersey never thought of. Next thing you know, that could help you gain 2 or 3 or 4 more deals a month. And that's honestly the goal, above and beyond what our training provides and all the good stuff that we offer, new loan officers coming on board, training, building them up, taking that home with them. The collaboration is probably one of the biggest things we have here at the Success Track.
Yeah, and I absolutely agree. And that's the fun part of it for me. Not only do you get to learn great tools and things that you guys are specifically doing that at UWM, but that collaboration. I know when I was there recently, there were brokers from all across the country. And like you said, there was it was a very first time that I met some people that I'd been watching the show. And Chris Griffith, as a matter of fact, it's the first time I met Chris Griffith in person, and we were able to share ideas, some ideas that I would never even think of that he was putting into practice in his area that totally were beneficial to me. And that's what's really fun about it. And as it continues to grow and develop, I think it's awesome. So one of the things that we've mentioned is a couple times is a team. And as brokers, as originators continue to evolve, as the industry continues to evolve, we need to have a team. We need to be surrounded by a team. And I think everything that I've seen, everything I've experienced, that's kind of what your guys' focus is how can you give an originator that team that, hey, you're the quarterback, you go run the ball, you throw the ball, you got to go get those deals in, you let us be your front line, let us block for you. Is that something that is, I mean, again, we know Matt's a big sports guy. He plays basketball, has loved basketball. That team center is a big focus for UWM.
Well, it's huge. And we want that team to let our brokers know, our clients. I mean, we're 32,000 strong clients that we have outside of our 4 walls, and we want to share every bit of it with them because, yes, I mean, like you mentioned, having the teamwork, like going into sports. You and I were talking earlier about the sports, right? So you look at the New England Patriots, great coaching. For example, you take a Bill Belichick, you take a Tom Brady. A Tom Brady wouldn't be who he is, in my opinion, without a Bill Belichick, without, his front line, without his wide receivers, everyone working together and collaborating to make that perfect play. And getting that perfect play out is what's going to get Mr. Broker in New Jersey or Mr. Broker in California going from doing 2 loans a month to 4 loans a month to 8 loans a month. I mean, you know this better than anybody. These retail giants out there, not going to mention any names. If you want me to, I will. But, these retail giants out there, all they care about is building up their business model. Yes, some of them may be in the broker market, but at the end of the day, that's their main focus is their retail market. They're together. They have the money. They have the billions to invest on their, neat little tools and gadgets that they have to offer. We're here to make clients aware, consumers aware, to know that working with a broker, not only are you going to get a better deal, not only that, better pricing, better service, it's coming together as one. And I think that's why, we talk about our friend over there, Anthony Casa, why AIM was formed, bringing everybody together as one to go after these retail giants who are stealing the loans, who are doing a disservice to the borrowers, because in my opinion, like I said, charging the client more money to get a mortgage is unfair. And that's why working with the wholesale broker is the way to go. It's like Costco. Anything wholesale is cheaper. We all know that. It's common sense. We all, as brokers and individuals, know that. Now it's time to get the message out to the consumer so they see the facts, because all they're looking at is those billions of dollars that are spent on television and they're thinking, oh, I got to try this company out because they're all over TV. Well, we all know that's false. Because if I can save a 0.5% in rate working with a local mortgage broker, I'm going to get the better products, the service, the technology, and a faster closing, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree. All those things, and that's just it. Having that team, having all that is what really allows us as originators to go out and focus on what we're good at. We don't have to worry about all the little stuff. That's what we want. That's what originators want right now. Now, I want to kind of build off this a little bit because you and I were talking, and you said, "Hey, Josh, throw me a couple curveballs," and I'm gonna get. I like you because you can kind of you're like me. We can kind of think on our toes. So I want to throw a little bit of a curveball because there's been some comments recently that UWM is growing very fast. It's growing very, very, very rapidly, and it's all wholesale, which I love. But there's been a couple of comments recently in different forums and groups that are like, well, is UWM growing too fast for its own good? Is this a bad thing? Could it possibly come back and hurt us? I know, again, you guys are ahead of the hiring curve, but do you think this growth could it have any type of downside for UWM?
In my opinion, absolutely not. The only reason why is because if we continue to do the right things as a company, bringing in the right products, doing the right thing when it comes to compliance and bringing in the right files, and helping our brokers grow. The number one aspect of this conversation, and that's a great curveball, by the way, but an easy answer. We rely on our brokers. Our brokers are going to be our number one path to success. We don't succeed if our brokers don't succeed. And one thing I love, what Matt mentioned one time in the meetings, and we were standing on stage, and he goes, I don't care if I don't get a loan. As long as the loan comes to wholesale, we're doing the right thing by the consumer. And we believe as a company, if we do the right thing by the consumer, the only path to that is success. There is no path to failure because we're doing right by the consumer themselves. Our brokers, obviously, but the consumer, who is the most important client to every single one of us, making sure they're taken care of is the only thing we care about. And that's going to get us to where we need to be. And that's going to help us with our success level. Nice trying that curveball, though.
Nice. I see you did it well. Okay, I'm going to throw you another one here because you guys are like you are staying ahead of the curve. You guys, like you mentioned, if the loan's not coming to you, UWM really just wants to see you go to the broker channel. But you guys are getting a ton of business right now. So I'm going to throw two more curveballs at you because I know these are two of the things that I'm hearing. Again, that's kind of the fun thing is I'm in the trenches as an originator. I get to hear some of these things. So the first one I want to talk about is price. There's a lot of people like, oh, UWM, they're not the best price right now. And again, you and I can have that conversation because I'm not all about price, but there are some people, especially as the markets are changing, but you guys have kind of been off on price recently. Is price going to come back? Is that something that Matt's focused on? Is UWM going to bring price back, or is it more of a value offer right now?
Well, but the easy answer to that is, and I tell clients this, which I'll go into detail after, but doing 40,000 loans in a month doesn't mean we're off price. And I always encourage clients to price us out. That's the most important thing. A lot of things I notice when it comes to pricing is, comp plans could be different. I could have a 1-point comp plan, mortgage broker, with another lender could have a 0.75 comp plan. That could put me off. But to answer your question in detail, as a company, United Wholesale Mortgage, our number one focus, and always has been our number one focus, is making sure service is number one. We have to make sure that clients are taken care of. Anybody can throw away a shiny price out there. You look at lender number one, and you notice that they're beating us by 8 basis points. Is that 8 basis points worth you going through the hassle of losing that realtor relationship? Let's go even further. Let's say it's 25 basis points. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. I'm off on price. Fine, Josh, I'll give it to you. 25 basis points. So there's products that we offer that could help with those 25 basis points. For example, you take 2 months ago when the rates were super low, there were lenders out there who were trying to get business. So what they did was they put their price on top of Loan Sifter. We all know this happens every single day. We don't hedge our pricing. Our pricing stays consistent. Another lender could put their pricing better by, let's say, a quarter. Great, fine. For a fact you have to lock that loan 2 months ago for 45 to 60 days. Sure. There was no way you could have closed that loan in less than 30 days with that lender's turn times because they don't have the staffing, the capability, et cetera, et cetera. My answer is simple to that. I can lock a loan with United Wholesale Mortgage. Instead of doing a 30-day lock, I'll do a 20-day lock because we have exact lock. So we can take the lock, do a 20-day lock. We could do exact price. So mortgage lender one is at 3.75, quarter better than United Wholesale Mortgage. Fine. I'll go 3.76, 3.77, earn the extra rebate to do a 20-day lock, or even drop the rate, make it an unshoppable loan. And now I'm at my 20-day lock at 3.75 versus that lender's 45-day lock. Pricing ends up being the same. Now who are you going to send the loan to? Then you tie in property inspection waivers. Then you tie in, 1 to 2 day turn times versus 8-day turn times. A borrower that's taking cash out doesn't want to wait an extra 2 weeks to get their cash.
Yeah, very true. That's a good answer. See, that's why I can throw you curveballs, Danny, because you're so well versed. You've been doing this for so long. I don't know if I mentioned this, but Danny will have been at UWM for 10 years this January. This January, right, Danny?
That's 10 years. It's January
10
4th. Yep.
years. So, I mean, clearly, number one, you love what you do because you've been there for 10 years. They treat you right. Most accounting executives, we hear all the time, they bounce around, they bounce here, they bounce there. So I want to kind of throw a curveball here because you guys are doing so much business. Brokers are sending so much business to you. LOs are sending big chunks of their pipeline to you. And some of the concerns that I've even heard and that are discussed, and I think this is going to be a fun one for you, is, well, UWM, like they're literally just taking the lion's share of every broker's business. What happens if I'm a broker and I'm sending 95% of my pipeline to you and something happens to UWM? God forbid, we know it's not going to happen, right. But I mean, we're just speaking hypothetically here. That's a concern. And plus, you're aggregating all this data. And what if we know Matt's like, again, you want a curveball? I'm really throwing you a curveball here, Danny, because I'm excited to hear it. What if they decided to, wow, we have all these loans. What if they decided to go into the retail space? Again, I'm just hypothetically speaking. People like to hear these difficult questions, so I'm excited to hear your thoughts on this.
So that's actually an easy answer too. I'm waiting for the actual curveball, Josh. But no, Matt Ishby is passionate about the broker channel. He's passionate about broker growth. When you take someone, put aside everything else, put aside the BS, put aside, making extra money, put aside all the stuff that, could be rumored out there. Think about, just take passion, for example. And someone as passionate as he is in the broker market, focusing on broker channel growth, if just logic, which will never happen in a million years. But if we were to go into the retail space, like, don't you think that contradicts everything we've done since 1984, since 2003, when United Wholesale Mortgage was formed? Do you think for one second that would contradict everything we've ever done in this industry, and that would turn the whole industry against us? Do you think any CEO with the right mindset would consider a little bit extra profit for something that we built for this many, many years? Absolutely not. And that's my answer to that. Like, taking all the money that we're investing, all the technology, all the IT, everything that we're putting together is for the broker growth. We're betting on brokers. We are 100% committed and betting on every single broker out there in the country to grow. That's how we're going to succeed. And we believe it's going to happen because not only are we 4,900 strong here, but we're 34,000 strong out there. And the message is clear. We believe. And we used to say a thing, it's called, why not us? Matt came out 3 years ago and he said, why not us? Why not United Wholesale Mortgage? Why can't we be the number one lender in the country? We've been the number one wholesale lender in the country for the last 5 years strong. Why not be the number one lender in the country? Well, why not us? Now, going into next year, it is us. It's going to be us. Having a goal set at 150 billion puts us at the number one lender in the country. And the only way we're going to be number one is going all in with our brokers. That's what we truly care about. And at the end of the day, when our brokers succeed, we're going to succeed. We're going to dominate. You're going to dominate. I know you have your own broker shop as well, too. You believe it. You see it. Everybody that is signed up with United Wholesale Mortgage and works with UWM knows if they work with UWM, they will do more loans. They will grow their business. I can statistically prove it that every one of my clients who've worked with me have significantly increased their business more, at least double compared to if they were working with another lender because of all the tools and stuff that we have to offer. So absolutely not. There is a zero chance that we would ever go into the retail market. I put money on that one.
Dude, this is why I love asking you questions, because Danny, you can like feel your passion. Everybody watching the show right now, like it is absolutely. And here's the thing. Here's why I ask, because you have people who will ask Matt, and Matt, of course, he'll give his answer, but you can just see from it's top down. And what I love about the leadership at UWM is even Matt doesn't even look at it as like a top down. He looks at everybody on the same playing field. You will share ideas with Matt. You'll share ideas with the executive team, and it's taken with as much weight as if anybody else on the executive board. Even originators, us as originators, can have suggestions, and those suggestions are. I've seen you guys take suggestions and literally put them in play in a very, very short amount of time because, again, you care about the broker, and there's a lot of great wholesale lenders out there right now, but you guys, your passion as an account executive, it's just funny to me because there's companies out there with AEs, and the AEs being attacked, and that's why we started doing this segment, is to really showcase AEs, and that's why I titled this "Not All Heroes Wear a Cape." And yes, if anybody saw my post earlier, I was really tired. I misspelled wear, but I don't care. It is what it is. But so here's what I want to ask this. I'm going to try one more curveball on Danny. And if we can't get him, we're going to we're going to talk about some other stuff. But here's a question, because I literally got asked this recently. Well, you guys have this this inside AE model. It's just, you guys don't have AEs floating around the country. They're literally all in house. And I've had some people say, well, I do appreciate my local AE because they understand the market. They're here in my community. They understand the market better. What's a response to something like that when it comes to having an account executive in-house versus actually out in the community, or showing up at brokers' offices bringing donuts? That's a whole side topic. But what's it? Why the focus on an inside AE model versus out there in the field?
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
You have your own broker shop, right?
Yep.
Okay. So if I was in your office every week bringing you donuts and just asking for business from you, do you see that as adding value to you and your company?
Hell no.
Okay, exactly. So, or would you take an account executive who's in a building full of 4,900 people, close to 1,000 underwriters who they have full access to, close to doing a deep, in-depth training 2-3 times a week, spending 3 to 4 hours a week on training on adding value, helping brokers grow their business, guidelines, knowledge? Think about that for 1 second. Having 49 people on your side. Look around. I can take this camera and show you around this building right now and show it to everyone that's watching right now. The resources that we have inside, I'm willing to bet any broker I ask right now today, would you rather have an account executive who's inside, who can get your deals closed, who can knock it out of the park for you, or would you rather him be coming to your office, sending you donuts, and then 45 minutes later stopping by your competitor's office, getting him donuts as well, and then next thing you know, you have a file that's an emergency and you can't get a hold of him because he's over at Mr. Broker Shop giving him one of those donuts? I'm willing to bet everybody would take the inside AE role. Think about it. You were at our Wednesday meeting.
Yep.
And I'm going to go into a little more of this because now I'm going to curveball you. You were at our Wednesday morning meeting. You see the energy that we have. You walk around our building, you see the smiles that we have. Everybody here collaborates with each other. We help each other grow. There's no competition inside this building. The only competition we have is south of where we are, and you know exactly who I'm talking about. We're going to take next year. Besides that, everybody here works together. We grow, we get better. Our main focus is training, just like sports and football. If you're not in the gym, if you're not working out, if you're not doing those push-ups, if you're not running plays, you're not going to get better. I don't want to sit home every single day and call clients and ask them for business. My main focus is, how am I going to get better tomorrow? I can't be the top producer of all time for 10 more years if I can't get better every single day. I have to make sure that my core continues to develop. And the only way I'm going to develop is if I'm making sure I'm taking advantage of the trainings we have here to offer and being inside.
And dude, it's true. You mentioned the Wednesday morning meetings, and you look around. I know you can just see behind Danny. There are thousands of people on this floor that are all collaborating. And what I love, the last time I was at UWM, I literally was walking past. I was talking to some AEs, and an AE was on the phone with one of his brokers, and a question came up that, and this showed a lot of humility. I'm not going to mention who it was, but this AE, he got thrown a curveball while we were standing there, and he was able to turn to an AE next to him and say, "Hey, so we're talking about this. Do you have an answer?" And the other guy had an answer, and it was just like, boom! Like if you have an outside AE, and I'm not bashing on them. Again, everybody has their model, totally cool.
Correct.
But
Correct.
if you're out in the field and you have a question that you don't know, sure, you can pick up the phone. But how powerful is it to turn to your person next to you and be like, or turn to your team lead like you and be like, "Hey, Danny, they're on the phone literally right now. Can we get this question answered?" And you've got the answer. Like, that's powerful to me.
Exactly. And I'm willing to bet and see. I don't see the comments obviously, but you can have people communicating this. Like, how many times have brokers reached out to account executives and they're not in house and they're not able to access guidelines, and they ask them a question and then someone quickly responds with an answer and the answer ends up being incorrect. And then you then take that answer, you give it to a realtor who's your referral source, who now will never use you again. I'm willing to bet there's quite a few who's watching our video, our live cast right now, and can comment on that and say that's happened to them.
I was gonna say, if you're watching right now and that's ever comment to you, or it's ever happened to you, comment below like, "Yes, that's happened to me. I got the wrong answer." I would love to hear that. And by the way, if you're joining us live, you see my Never Relax shirt. I got the UWM Never Relax shirt on today. If you're joining us live right now, make sure you comment #UWM. Zach Carr, the best in the game. Danny Marogy. Oh, thanks, Zach, for commenting. Appreciate it. Guys, if you're joining us live right now, make sure you comment #UWM. You're hanging out with me and Danny this morning. If you've been joining us live, you've seen some curveballs I've tried to throw to Danny, but he's just so knowledgeable. And Danny, the fact that you've been there for 10 years, the fact that you know inside and out, and you are one of those leaders within UWM now that get to help these AEs. They get to help these AEs go be part of the team for the broker. And for me, it is just absolutely exciting. So I kind of want to end on this. We've been going for way long, and me and you could go for hours talking about all the benefits, all the things, and the tools. We haven't even got into that, but this is kind of the heroes, the unsung heroes. Not all heroes wear a cape. For UWM, for account executives in particular, if there were one thing that you really see that separates, we've talked about a lot of great things, but if there's one thing that separates UWM's AEs from everybody else, what would you pick that one thing to be?
Training. Continuous training, getting better every single day. You're either stale or you're getting better. There's no such thing as continuing doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. To me, that's insanity. I truly feel that the only way you can get better is if you're constantly working on your core. And our core as account executives is knowledge, knowing the products, knowing the industry, knowing what's going to happen, not just what's happening. And I'm going to default to training all day, every day.
Which I actually 100% agree with you. And I know there was a lot of other people who would answer this question like, oh, they know the products, so they know our guidelines the best. But for you guys, it is training, and that's part of it. But to become better, you and I mentioned a team a couple of times. The best teams in the world, they train, they get better every single day. If you're not continually training, putting yourself in uncomfortable situations, learning from everybody else around you, you're not going to get any better. You're going to stagnate. And we've seen that happen before. So I absolutely agree. And the training is absolutely top notch. Again, I've been to a lot of your guys' trainings. I've been there. I felt the camaraderie. I felt the culture that is around. And I think that's part of that training as well, is being able to feel that, hey, you're not just part of a team for your broker. You're part of a team here at UWM. And again, it's a very, very high bar. The bar is set very high there. And again, I think that's what pushes us to become better.
And that's the thing. We share that training with every single one of our clients. We have our processor training. We have our broker owner training for ones that want to grow. We have our 4-day LO, our 2-day experienced loan officer training, and it's constantly evolving. So if you came to our success track last year, it's totally different this year, and it's going to be totally different next year. So take advantage of it, because honestly, going into 2020, things are going to change, and it's going to be huge, huge, huge for the broker market. And I truly feel the ones that get on board are going to do way more business than they've ever thought of.
100%. So actually, I'm going to change my mind. You just mentioned 2020. I want to end on this. Going into 2020, there is a lot of change. There's a lot of opportunity going on. Where do you feel it's best for brokers, for originators to go focus their efforts going into 2020 to make sure everybody had a banner year in 2019. It was an incredible year. Interest rates were awesome. Going into the next year, of course, there's thoughts of interest rates, where those are going. All that aside, where should brokers be focusing their efforts in 2020 to have the best year ever?
I mean, the purchase market's always been the number one focus for everything, because purchase markets lead into relationships, and relationships are key. I personally look at refinances as bonuses. I mean, yes, obviously we can't control what rates do, but I like to focus on what we can control. The things we can control are, getting our technology, making sure our technology is number one, utilizing Blink, utilizing Brand 360, technology overall, setting yourself apart from the competition. When you're walking into a realtor shop, are you providing value? For example, are you giving something that nobody else can offer? Turn times are great, closing loans are great, but at the end of the day, separate yourself from everybody. Get into something that's going to get you ahead of the curve. So for example, when rates decide to, if they do decide to go up, are you going to be focusing on a goal? Are you going to visit 3-4 new realtors a week? Show them value, show them your technology, show them what you have to offer.
I love it. I absolutely agree. I think you have to. Relationships are everything. You and I have talked about this. We literally have had this conversation before. We continue to bring it up. Relations are absolutely critical going into any market. I mean, rates were great. 2019 was awesome for refis. And I agree with you. I think refis, it should be something that you're not just ignoring, because there are great opportunities there for you. But the purchase market, that's where I built my business when I was heavily originating. And the relationships that came out of it, I still have today. That's what this is all about, building those long-term relationships. I know that's the focus for you guys.
And don't forget for 1 second too, look at recruiting. A lot of retail loan officers are looking to transition because, market shifted. I mean, now, getting a better deal is super important. Going into next year, consider looking into do some recruiting, getting some retail to wholesale transitioning, get these retail loan officers over to your team, grow with them and show them that the benefits of working with a, mortgage broker is much more beneficial than working on the retail side.
I love it. We're going to end on that. Ladies and gentlemen, Danny Marogy, one of the absolute most knowledge. As you can see, I tried to throw some curveballs at Danny. There was no script here today. We literally, before we got on the call, he's like, dude, throw me some curveballs. And I'm like, let's game on. Let's play. So you can't stump Danny. Like that. That's what I appreciate. You mentioned training. You mentioned knowledge. And that's what always impresses me. You guys always go above and beyond when it comes to helping brokers inside the culture of UWM. You guys are always doing everything that you can. So you have the knowledge. So when you are talking to a broker, you have the knowledge to answer every question. There's no curveballs. You guys you're prepared, you're trained, you're ready for it. So that's what I appreciate. Danny, thank you so much. Thanks for spending time with us, bro. Really appreciate it.
I'll come back anytime, Josh.
Oh, dude, I know you will. You'll continue to throw this incredible knowledge to the entire industry. So, guys, if you haven't, if you have not used UWM, you're crazy. Again, if you have questions, reach out to Danny, reach out to UWM, because again, it is such a great opportunity. And we didn't even get into a fraction of what we could have today, but Danny, you're the man. Really appreciate it. And we're definitely going to have you on again. Guys, as always, we appreciate you. We love you. Show up, hustle, repeat every day. See you guys.
Dominate.
Boom.